Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. Budget second reading passed with 45 majority. The third reading of the budget will be held from today. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena told Parliament yesterday that 1,673 million rupees has already been paid to rural road contractors. GCE O-level exam results will be released this week. Attention has been paid to import rice to avoid the shortage of Kiri Samba in the market. 6 sluice gates of the Inginimitia Reservoir have been opened. Foreign news. Lebanon Prime Minister says Israeli strikes killed journalists. In sports news, Ghana shocked by Comoros, Senegal and Cameroon held in World Cup 2026 qualifying. Local news in detail. The second reading of the budget for 2024 was passed in Parliament yesterday with a majority of 45 votes. A total of 122 MPs voted in favour while 77 voted against. The ruling party, Podujana Peramuna, United National Party, Sri Lanka Freedom Party, MP Dhuminda Disanayaka, MP Nimal Lanza, MP Ali Sabri Rahim, MP Vadivel Suresh, MP Anura Priyadarshini Appa, MP Johnson Viratna, MP ALM Athaula and AHM Fauzi voted in favour of the budget 2024. Samagi Jana Balavegia, Jatika Jana Balavegia and Tamil National Alliance voted against the budget. 25 MPs were not present in the Assembly when the vote was taken for the second reading of the budget for 2024. President Ranil Wickremesinghe presented the budget for 2024 to Parliament on November 13th and the second reading debate started on November 14th. Accordingly, the debate on the second reading of the budget was held for 7 days from February 14th to February 21st, excluding Sundays. The vote was taken yesterday at 6 p.m. in relation to the debate on the second reading of the budget 2024. The third reading of the budget will be held for 19 days from today to December 13th, excluding Sundays. The vote on the third reading of the budget for financial year 2024 is scheduled to be held on the 13th at 6 p.m. Transport, Highways and Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena told Parliament yesterday that 1,673 million rupees has already been paid to contractors under the program of developing 100,000 kilometers of alternative rural roads in the country by October 31st. The minister said that 13,160 roads are being developed under this scheme, which is 17,847 kilometers in length. He said 9,298 kilometers of 5,201 roads have already been developed. He said this while replying to a question raised by MP Gamini Valeboda. The minister stated that the distance of the roads that have not been completed so far is 11,549 kilometers under the 100,000 kilometer road development project. The minister also stated that contractors who carried out the road development work under this project have not been paid the 5 billion rupees as of yet. He also said that a program has been implemented to identify roads that should be given priority, which have been halted due to economic crisis at district level. The minister said that this program has been implemented in Polonnaruwa and Anuradhapura districts, and meetings are conducted constantly to get information about the roads that should be prioritized in each province by contacting the district secretariats, divisional secretaries and MPs. The minister announced that engineers, senior officials, heads of institutions, public administration officials are engaged in implementing this program, and most of the development projects can be re-implemented after receiving the second tranche from the International Monetary Fund. Education Minister Dr. Susil Premachandra told Parliament yesterday that the results of the GCE Ordinary Level examination will be released in the next few days. The minister stated that for the first time in history, the Grade 5 scholarship results were released within a month, and all arrangements have been made to hold the advanced level examination as well. The minister said this while joining the debate on the 7th day of the second reading of the budget. The minister said the last advanced level examination results were delayed due to the examination of answer sheets being delayed by 3 months, and if not, the advanced level examination could have started in November. The minister also stated that due to the postponement of the exams, children are frustrated and steps should be taken to make the educational activities of children successful by conducting the exams as soon as possible and releasing the results at the right time. He said that it is planned to provide free shoes to 800,000 children and providing lunch to all primary classes next year. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. We continue with more stories here at home. Chinese President Xi Jinping's special envoy and state councillor Shen Yikin arrived in Sri Lanka recently for a 4-day official visit. State Councillor Yikin is the president of the All China Women's Federation. The State Council and the delegation paid a courtesy call on President Ranil Wickremesinghe on the 20th of November 2023. During the call, the discussions focused on enhancing cooperation between the two countries in the fields of tourism, sports and agriculture. During the visit, the delegation also called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and the Speaker, Mahinda Abeyewardene. The State Councillor was accompanied by an 18-member delegation, including the Deputy Secretary General of the State Council, Meng Yang, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sun Weidong, and Vice Chairman of the China International Development Cooperation Agency, Zhao Fengtao. The delegation visited the Hambantota Port, the Galle National Maritime Museum, and the Galle Fort during the visit. 6 sluice gates of the Ingenimetia Reservoir have been reopened. The Department of Irrigation warns the residents of the area to be on alert since the water of the reservoir is released to Oya at the speed of 4,000 cubic feet per second. This is the first time in which sluice gates of the Ingenimetia Reservoir were opened during this year. In addition, sluice gates of the Dadru Oya, Tabboa and Rajangani reservoirs also remain open. In the meantime, the Cabinet of Ministers has given the green light to import 100,000 metric tons of kiri samba into Sri Lanka. This measure has been taken to address the existing shortage of kiri samba in the country. Minister Nalin Fernando said that rice will be imported in the near future. The imported rice will be distributed by government bodies. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
Training programs will be conducted for the farmers in 47 agrarian services areas in 11 districts. This program will be initiated in areas where smart weather agricultural programs are being conducted. The program has provided computers and other equipment worth 300 million rupees. Director of the program, Engineer RMB Rajakarna, has presented these equipment to the Minister of Agriculture, Mahinda Amaravira, yesterday.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
On Watch Live, Minister Ramesh Patrana says that between 10 and 12,000 people are dying due to road accidents per year. According to the reports, he said that 35 persons are dying daily due to this reason. He made these remarks at an international summit on preventing accidents organized by the Ministry of Health. That's on Watch Light. Moving on to world news headlines. Lebanon Prime Minister says Israeli airstrikes killed journalists. North Korea claims a successful launch of spy satellite. King Charles deploys K-pop at South Korea state banquet. World news in detail. 4 people, including 2 journalists, have been killed in Israeli strikes in Lebanon, local media says, as exchanges of fire intensify along the border. Lebanon's Prime Minister condemned the attack in the village of Tyre Harfa and killed an Al-Mayadeen TV reporter and cameraman along with another man. Israel's military said it had opened against a threat in the same area that it was reviewing the incident. An elderly woman was also reportedly killed in Farkela in the east. Earlier, Israeli aircraft struck what the military said were terrorist cells in the border area as well as targets belonging to the Lebanese group Hezbollah, which was repeatedly fired missiles and mortar shells across the border since the start of the war between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip 6 weeks ago. A Beirut-based Arabic TV channel said its of their reporters and cameramen were deliberately targeted as they reported from the village about 2 kilometers from the border. North Korea claims it has successfully put a military spy satellite into space, drawing condemnation from neighboring countries. State news agency KCNA said the satellite, named Malikyong-1, had accurately entered orbit. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un observed the launch, the agency added. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida decried its launch, which flew over the country's Okinawa prefecture and on towards the Pacific Ocean. The White House described the step as a brazen violation of multiple United Nations resolutions. The Japanese government briefly issued an emergency warning, telling residents in Okinawa to take shelter. North Korea has twice this year tried and failed to put a military satellite into orbit. It had told Japan it intended to make a third attempt. In the meantime, King Charles used the grandeur of a Buckingham Palace state banquet to throw in some unexpected references to Korean popular culture. K-pop stars Blackpink and BTS were name-checked by the king as he welcomed South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol on the first day of his state visit. The king's banquet speech praised South Korean culture's remarkable ability to captivate imaginations, although he admitted he hadn't much of what might be called Gangnam style, but there was no repeat of President Yoon's karaoke style skills when he visited U.S. President Joe Biden when the South Korean leader had sung American Pie. That's on World News.
Development News.
A tourism integrated development project worth an initial investment of $61 million has been mooted in the Calcutta electorate in Vallecheni. A key player behind the effort, former competent authority of National Paper Company, Mangala Senarath, said if given the green light, the project will be one of the most extensive projects undertaken in the country to generate environmentally friendly, sustainable tourism. This project will also be integrated with other development projects targeting both local and foreign markets. He also said that the project aligns with the President's thinking of developing tourism while integrating it with other development initiatives.
Moving on with sports news.
Ghana and South Africa suffered shock defeats in qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, while Cameroon and Senegal were forced to settle for draws away from home. Ghana were beaten 1-0 by Comoros in their Group 1 test in Moroni through Maizian Maulida's fine solo effort 2 minutes before half-time. Meanwhile, Rwanda pulled off a shock 2-0 win at home against South Africa to move to the top of Group C ahead of Bafana and Nigeria. Senegal were held to a goalless draw by Togo in Lome, and Libya fought back to draw 1-1 with Cameroon in front of a fervent crowd in Benghazi. That's on Sports News.
Go ekaktiana youth කට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Binance chief executive, Changpeng Zhao, has resigned after pleading guilty to money laundering violations. In a post on X, he said that he made mistakes and he must take responsibility. The Justice Department said it was requiring Binance, the largest crypto exchange in the world, to pay $4.3 billion in penalties and forfeitures. It said Binance had helped users bypass sanctions across the world. That's on Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekaktiana youth කට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, Plantations, Enterprise Reforms and Finance State Minister Ranjit Singh Balapati announced that a dedicated allocation of 10 billion rupees has been reserved for potential future elections. This provision, while not explicitly outlined in the budget proposals, has been included in the estimates. The State Minister has conveyed that the Executive Committee of the International Monetary Fund is scheduled to deliberate on the release of the second installment of the extended credit facility to Sri Lanka on the 6th of December. State Minister Singh Balapatiya made these remarks during his participation in a press briefing held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday under the theme One Way to a Stable Country.
Weather report.
Heavy showers, about 100 millimeters, are likely at some places in central Sabaragamu and northwestern, north central and NOV provinces. Showers may occur at some places in northern and eastern provinces during the morning too. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. That's the weather update. Before we wind up this bulletin of news, back to the headlines. Budget second reading passed with 45 majority. The third reading of the budget will be held from today. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena told Parliament yesterday the 1,673 million rupees has already been paid to rural road contractors. GCE O-level exam results will be released this week. Attention has been paid to import rice to avoid the shortage of kiri samba in the market. 6 sluice gates of the Ingenimity Reservoir have been opened. Foreign news. Lebanon Prime Minister says Israeli strikes killed journalists. In sports, Ghana shocked by Comoros, Senegal and Cameroon in the World Cup 2026 qualifying. With that, we conclude the morning bulletin of news, and it's back to Abhishek this morning. Over to you.